Minecraft 1.21 arrived with several new amazing features, and in this video, I'm going to show you all the new things and everything you need to know about. Starting with the game menu, the first new thing you will notice is this super beautiful background showing the new structure of 1.21. And this structure is called Trial Chambers, is a giant structure that appears only in the lower layers of caves, and is full of rooms and secrets to be discovered, but full of dangerous challenges too. To be able to easily find this structure in the game, you can purchase the new map called Trial Explorer from the Cartographer Villager. And with this, you can easily find the nearest trial chamber. And one of the first interesting things you will notice when entering the structure are the new copper and tuff blocks. This version brought this new set of tuff that can be easily done with a stone cutter. The tuff block has been in the game for a few years now, and it's really cool to finally see it having more variations. I personally think this is the most beautiful block to build in this update. And now let's talk about the new set of copper blocks. We will now have copper doors, copper trapdoors, a new block called chiseled copper, a block called copper grate, and an even cooler one which is a new lamp made of copper called copper bulb. This block is very interesting because it can stay lit infinitely after being turned on, and can also oxidize, thus decreasing the light level. But if you want, you can click on it with an axe and you can restore the block to its original state. And it is also possible to keep it in the state you want if you apply honey to the block. It's definitely a really cool block for decorators and also for creating redstone machines. Now let's return to the trial chambers. This structure has several corridors full of decorated pots and barrels with many items. Inside them you can find things like iron, arrows, basic tools, diamond blocks, ender pearls, and new things like 3 new pottery shards to use in the decorated pots. And in this structure, it is also possible to find several strange rooms like this one with trees, rooms with beds, chests with enchanted items, and many other cool things. But exploring this structure will not be easy, because in each corridor and room you will find a new spawner called a trial spawner. And this block will generate mobs like zombies, baby zombies, husks, skeletons, strays, spiders, silverfish, and slimes. And after you defeat all the mobs in the spawner, it will open, dropping a reward to the player, which can be food, potions, or the new trial key. These trial keys can be used to open the vault. Vaults can give rewards like enchanted items, golden apples, and other things. One of the coolest things you can get are the 2 new exclusive smithing templates. And personally, I think they are the most stylish of all. But the most useful and interesting thing you can get in the vaults is the new ominous bottle. The ominous potion can also be obtained by killing the pillager carrying a banner. This potion is now the only way to activate the bad omen effect to start an invasion in the villages. And this potion can also activate a new difficulty mode inside the trial chambers. When the player receives the effect and approaches a trial spawner, it will release blue particles and generate much stronger mobs with armor and swords. And as you can see, when the spawner is active, it will launch some effects on the player, and this will make the challenge even greater. The most interesting thing about this ominous mode is that you will get a new key after defeating all the monsters. And this key, called Ominous Trial Key, can open a new vault, which is the Ominous Vault. And this one can give much better rewards and also a new rare item called Heavy Core. And by uniting a heavy core with a breeze rod, it is possible to make a new weapon called Mace. The mace is a very powerful weapon that can hit an enemy and also push those around it. Basically, with this weapon, the higher you fall and use it, the more damage it will do. So it's certainly the strongest weapon in the game so far, but this can become even stronger if enchanted with one of the 3 new enchantments. The first new enchantment is Density. This will make the mace much stronger and has 5 different levels. We also have the enchantment called Breach that can reduce the effectiveness of armor. And the enchantment called Wind Burst, which is just the coolest. Now to be able to obtain the Breeze Rod and create this incredible weapon, you will need to face the new mob in the trial chambers called Breeze. The Breeze is a totally hostile mob that will attack enemies with gusts of wind. It is not a boss, but it is a very different and fun enemy to face. And one thing that makes this mob really cool is that the gusts of wind can activate buttons and traps that are around the structure's rooms. Another important thing to know about this monster is that it cannot be hit by projectiles, so don't try to attack it with arrows or a trident. And after killing him, you will receive the item called Breeze Rod, which can also be used to make another item called Wind Charge. The Wind Charge is capable of making the player jump up to 9 blocks. It can be a lot of fun to use to do parkour, but it is also possible to activate doors, buttons, and other things using this item. And it is still capable of attacking mobs, but the damage is only half a heart, so it's not very interesting to use as a weapon. And now let's talk about another really cool new mob called Bogged. This mob is a new skeleton variant that will spawn in both swamp biomes, and his ability is basically shooting poison arrows at enemies. Each arrow from this skeleton has a poison effect that lasts approximately 4 seconds, and this is enough to cause a lot of damage. But even though it is a strong skeleton due to the advantage of poison, it has less life than a common skeleton. Besides the swamps, there is only one other place that the Bogged can spawn to, and that is inside the caves in a new copper structure. Now the next big addition to the game is the new block called Crafter. This block will be a revolutionary thing for Minecraft because it basically allows you to configure it to craft items automatically. You can literally craft all kinds of things with it, and it's very satisfying to see it working. Okay, but how do I get the block in survival mode? To make the crafter block, you will need to use iron, a dropper, a crafting table, and redstone. Now we will also have 4 new potions in the game, one of which is called Oozing and makes 2 slimes spawn after you die, another called Infested which makes moths spawn, another called Wind Charging, and another called Weaving which generates cobwebs after you die. On top of that, we still have more news. 20 new beautiful paintings have been added to the game. And we also now have 2 new banners. And finally, we have 3 new discs that can be found in the trial chambers.